I mean, can we really do a series with the word baby in it without making a Crosby video? Now, take it from me, definitely a huge fan of number 87 here, but I'd be pretty oblivious if I didn't attempt such a production. Therefore, in the spirit of all things bottle related, we're going to go through, for the most part, some earlier moments in Crosby's career where he acted immaturely. We'll go through classic dives, whining episodes, and much more throughout the video. And with that, here are 6 times where Sidney Crosby acted like a baby. Sid the Kid and Alex the Great. 2 amazing stars with different personalities and talents. Today, the two almost seem to be cordial, but rewind back to, I'll say, 10 or 15 years prior, and the distaste between them was much more evident. Well, on May 4th of 2009, during the heat of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the rivalry between both players was definitely at its peak. As the game progressed, something happened that's not so typical in a playoff contest, or really, any game for that matter, as in both Crosby and Ovechkin had dueling hat tricks during Game 2 of the semifinals. But it was the Penguins captain himself that didn't quite appreciate the onslaught of hats raining down in the nation's capital, and decided to express his frustration to the nearest official.
People kept throwing hats. I was just asking if he could make an announcement to pass some stuff.
Most of us can recall the very intense and tumultuous Stanley Cup Finals series that took place between the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2017, and it was during Game 5 that things quickly began to heat up within the middle frame of play. As Chris Kunitz was in puck pursuit behind Nashville's cage, he decided to lay his body into defenseman Mattias Ekholm, but it was what Ekholm did directly after that, with his stick, Crosby incensed from the Penguins bench. As the defenseman decided to take a whack or two at Kunitz with his stick, the play went unnoticed by the officials. Therefore, in retaliation, number 87 took it into his own hands to avenge his teammate by launching a water bottle in his direction. The play went unnoticed as there was no penalty given to the perpetrator. The most memorable and possibly the best for its dramatic flair was the dive Crosby took during the 2009 Stanley Cup Finals. As Red Wings forward Kirk Maltby gave the Penguins captain a whack from behind, Crosby could be shown giving his best performance while giving the impression that he just lost a limb. Maltby could be shown on the bench visibly annoyed soon after. Regardless, you have to admit, even though you might see him exaggerate occasionally today, Sid has definitely come a long way. So in hockey, or any other sport for that matter, one thing is for certain, if you provoke your opponent, then usually 9 times out of 10, they're going to retaliate. And during a regular season contest against the Capitals in 2015, that's exactly what happened. In this case, instead of taking a dose of his own medicine and calling it a day, Crosby didn't exactly take it in stride. After deciding to cross-check and slash Nicklas Backstrom in the Penguins' end after receiving a whack himself, Crosby immediately protested while looking back at the official expecting a call. But to his dismay, play only continued on from there. If you know anything about Sidney Crosby's career, especially his early years, you'll know that his relationship with referees could be defined as strained at best. And it was during a regular season meeting against Tampa in 2017 that the shades of vintage Sid began to show amid the opening minute of the contest. After receiving a minor penalty for cross-checking on Yanni Gourde after retreating to the penalty box, Crosby decided to vacate the sin bin in order to plead his case during a stoppage in play. This, as you would think, resulted in only steeper punishment for the forward, as he was then given a game misconduct for his actions. In case you didn't already know, when the Penguins and Capitals verse each other in the playoffs, as we saw earlier, there's usually a major storyline or two that comes out of the series. And one of the headlines that came about towards the beginning of Pittsburgh's back-to-back cup runs was the tantrum that Crosby had in the final minutes of Game 3. As Ovechkin and Crosby were both trying to gain possession near the neutral zone, as the captains collided, Ovechkin's stick acquainted itself with Crosby's hand in painful fashion. Well, after not receiving a call on the play, Crosby, while wincing in pain, yelled at the nearest official en route to the locker room. But even still, he wasn't done expressing his displeasure as he decided to take his frustrations out on his stick instead of the referee.